us. You were a player. You were doing all sorts of things. You weren't paying her attention. She's separated from you. Why you have a problem? Why he has a problem, but he has a problem. Y'all know I get down and dirty with some forbidden books. It's not spicy. Hold up. Hold up. Hi wonderful people and welcome back to my channel Book Craves. How are you going? What's up? What is the scene? 2022, it's done. It's over. It's dead. But before we leave 2022 to lie, there are some books that I read that I need to share with you. All of these books released in 2022. Listen, I discovered some good books. 2022 had some good books. But anyway, enough blabbing. So if you want to know some of my favorites, books that just hit a particular spot, books that did a certain something for me, like, follow, share, and listen up. Before I let go, this book was good. This story, it did it for me. I got exactly what I expected in this book between Josiah and Yasmin. Yo, I read this book the same week that it was released. I am playing. Now, yes, this is your second chance at love. However, the secondary characters, we know we're going to get books there. So, in this story with Yasmin and Josiah, something happened in their marriage. Like, they met in college, they were going strong. And then something happened in their relationship. And with that happening, it was too much for both of these individuals to work out and overcome. And so they separated. They were co-parenting. They were running a business together. And when one party decided to move on, the other party realized, before I let go, let's see if there is still something there. Yo, this book worked, which is why it is one of my favorite reads for 2022. Hidden Lies. Hidden Lies. Again, there is some hard issues being dealt with. Are you seeing a trend? In Hidden Lies, we meet Lucy and Mason. Mason is Lucy's brother, best friend, right? They're part of a group. They're part of the cartel, organized crime. They're involved in all of that. These are also college students. So they went from high school into college together. And before they got into college, Mason and Lucy had a fling. Lucy thought that Mason was all ready, to go, let their families know, let her brother know that they're together. Only Mason wasn't ready to cross that stage. And yeah, they had a hookup and Lucy became pregnant. That's not the bad part. The bad part is what happened shortly after she found out and what Mason did that made her lose the baby. And Mason had to work so hard to get back in her good graces. I need you to understand that what Lucy went through on her own, not telling her soul, what she had to deal with. And, guys, Hidden Lies, y'all know I get down and dirty with some forbidden books. Good. What was meant to be? Oh, this is an age gap. All right. But the hero ends up with his goddaughter. Yes, I said it. And yes, I enjoyed the book. You can judge me if you want to. But a lot of you read the book and listen, y'all liked it too. So in this book, we meet Jacob and Whitney. And Jacob, he is a doctor. And Whitney, again, it's his best friend's daughter. He was there for the birth and all of that. He was there with her, like, growing up. Not that active in her life, but definitely active in the parents' life. And so he went away because he does this traveling medical thing. Comes back, boom, Whitney is an adult. And so she's there. She's always had a thing for him. One thing leads to another, and they end up in a relationship. She's ready to move forward, and he's not, because he's still, fighting it, because he believes that he's too old and she needs to be with someone younger, and that it's just wrong. So it's not like he doesn't have a conscience. He does, but the heart wants what the heart wants. And what the heart wanted was her. Again, he went on a traveling medical thing, comes back, she's engaged. Because what did he say? To move on. So she moved on. When he returns, he's like, I still want you. And she's like, no, I'm engaged. I have a fiance. And he's like, well, break up with your fiance, because I'm back in the picture. And one thing leads to another. Fiance. Listen, things blew up in their faces. Like, it literally blew up in their faces. But it blew up so good. It blew up so good. Y'all, Homewrecker. This book, if you have read this book, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. In Homewrecker, it is an interracial romance, yes. It is also a MMA romance book. In this book, the hero, Cody, he has been wanting to have a fight with the top dog, right? This guy who has been unbeatable. But regardless of whatever he does, he still kind of gets into the ring with him. So he decides to do something dirty and try to get in with the wife. Did it work? No, it did not. But things were happening in the heroine's marriage, and she separated from her husband, and she started up a really nice relationship with Cody, with the hero. One thing leads to another, and now the husband gets jealous. Why are you jealous? You were a player. You were doing all sorts of things. You weren't paying her attention. She's separated from you. Why you have a problem? Why he has a problem? But he has a problem. Eventually, Cody gets his wish. He gets into the ring with this guy. I enjoy this fight scene so much. There's a lot of things happening in this one book. There's also issues with mental health. Listen, when I read this book, I think I came back on the same month, and I recommended this book to you. Homewrecker. The name doesn't do justice to the story. Do I need to say anything about this book? Remind us of him. Again, this was on my TBR for most of the year, but I got through it in summer. And this book, it hits a place in my heart. And I'm going to tell you now, your girl shed tears. Your girl shed some serious tears. No, I'm not a huge Hoover fan by no means. None. This is my second book by this author. The first one I read last year, it was this one. The emotions did it for me. Yo, this is how serious we are. Like, I got this book at the beginning of this year, but I didn't read it until 6-7 months into the year, which is fine. Keta and Ledger in this book. What Keta went through, it was too much. It was too much. So Keta, she was in a relationship with this guy. There was a car accident and he passed away. She panicked. She didn't know what to do. And as a result, she ended up in prison only to discover that she's pregnant. The baby was born and she gave the baby to the guy's parents because she was not in a position to take care of the baby. She's been reliving this accident. She can't find the means to forgive herself. So she's there torturing herself for almost 5 years in prison. She gets out and she wants to reconnect with that family. She wants to reconnect with her daughter, only for this family to deny her. In come Ledger. Ledger, he's just like, he's on both sides of the fence. Like, he understands what she's going through and what she wants to do, but he's also siding with the family. And for them to overcome this big hurdle, yes, there's some sensual moments in this book, but this book is not of that. This book is just reminders of him. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite books because of the emotions that it pulls from you. This is another book, again, the emotions. It is about someone learning to find themselves worthy of being loved. What else would you want in a romance book? Yes, we're here for the BDSM and the books with the trigger warnings, but we're also here for relationships. We're also here for the falling in love, not just falling in love with someone else, but falling in love with yourself. In A Worthy Love, we meet Asha and Marissa. They had a one-night stand in Vegas. Things didn't work out in Vegas. They move on. But the thing is, they are both friends with friends. So, complicated much? Yes, the bantering in this book. But you also have Marissa ending up in a situation where she could become like blacklisted as a, she's a business owner too, right? So she could be blacklisted because of who she ended up in a relationship with. Thank God for Ash pushing himself into her life, into her living quarters, and I'll just put it here. But yes, and doing that. But yeah, it's just like you get so much. This is a black romance as well. This book, y'all, Involuntary. I like this book. The heat, the steam is there, but this is like a medical romance. So in this book, we meet Stephanie. Stephanie is a business owner. She is also her sister's daughter adopted mom. So she legally adopted her. She's taking care of her and all of that. She's also running a successful business or multiple successful businesses. One day, her daughter or her niece gets into an accident. She runs to the hospital only to discover that her sister is there. And her sister is claiming that she's the mother. She sees her at the hospital. Her face is slashed, only to discover that she has fractured ribs or broken ribs, a collapsed lung, all of these things. And all the mother wants to do is just fix the face, and that's it. So she meets the doctor. She starts up something with the doctor, only for, again, her biological mother to hook up with some crime lord who's into trafficking of young girls. The doctor gets down dirty to save Stephanie's daughter. Their relationship is so nice. The flow of the book is really good. The character development is so good. The relationship development is good. Things that happen in the book is good. This is a really good, touching story. Your Frost. This book released in October, and this story, it just blew my mind. Like, it's nothing new, but how things unfolded. So in this book, we have Ava and Torin. Ava, it's her birthday. She discovers that her boyfriend is being unfaithful to her on her birthday. She goes to the bar. She throws a tantrum about the Silly King, about the Fays. Now, this is on the Earth realm, and the Earth people, they know about the Fays from a different realm. And eventually, the Torin, the Silly King, he invites her to take part in a tournament. And if she wins, then she gets a certain amount of money. We're talking petty cash here. So within the tournament, she slowly discovers herself and her abilities and her strength, and only to discover that she might be unseelie, which is the dark fae. and she doesn't know how to deal with that, and the book ends on a cliffhanger. There's also like a nice bantering between Torin and Ava. There is like a nice chemistry between them. Like nothing spicy happens in this book, but I really want to know where this story goes. You know, I'm all about the relationships within a story. Yes, the additional action and adventure and stuff is there. Like, I need that in my life, but I also need a good relationship. And so we have the foundation for a good relationship in this book. Frost was so good. Y'all, I came back in April and I recommended this book to you. This one right here. This is a paranormal / urban fantasy interracial romance. Now, this is unlike her other books. This is a slow burn. You know I'm straight with you. You know I don't play. This is a slow burn, but it is good. So we have the heroine. She was recruited by a top secret operations program. Her name is Dana. She's also a diplomatic's daughter as well. So she is that by day, and then she's like a kind of slayer at night. Something happened to her mother, and so she has always sworn that she's going to kill who was responsible for killing her mother. So she's trained and she's all badass. You know how I feel about heroines like that. You also have the slow development of a relationship between her and Neil. Neil was tasked with protecting her. She has no issues sacrificing herself to bring down these paranormal beings. We're talking about organized crime, paranormal beings, like a cartel. So the author sent me all the books in this series. Because why? Because I love it. One of my favorite interracial romances for 2022, period. This is my best friend's wish. So in this book, we meet Darie and Colleen. They have been best friends like forever. Darie, he is, he's a chef, but he's also supposed to be the head or the next head of their crime family. However, we know there's a lot of manipulations and planning taking place by Giovanni, his older brother. But besides the point, Giovanni does something and now they have to live together temporarily. Boundaries are crossed and Colleen gets pregnant and doesn't tell Darie anything. But Darie has to go to Italy to train and prepare himself for being the head of the crime family. However, Colleen is not as she seems, in that she was also trained to be like a kind of assassin. But they have to do certain things to trigger that memory. The action, yes. The relationship, yes. Plot, yummy. I will suggest, and it's highly recommended, that you read the book in order. I will not read this as a standalone. Certain things happened in this book, Unexpected Lovers. This is his twin brother, Dante. Before you read this one, and it's the same thing with Gio's book, you should read it in order because there's a lot of manipulation and planning and scheming taking place. Like, oh, now you're wondering why this is my favorite and not this one. This one just was a bit more edgy. The relationship was a bit more complicated, more secrets and lies, and it was just a bit more. As the series built, the relationships, everything just become more complex, and I'm all about that life. This book released in December, A Dirty Business. And oh my goodness. First of all, you have a patrol officer, Jess, and Trace. He's part of organized crime. He deals with illegal activities. Do I need to say any more? Drama. Also, Jess' family is not as they seem, in that her father was involved in organized crime. This book ends on a cliffhanger. Am I upset? Yes, because I thought it was going to be a standalone. But yeah. So anyway, Jess is a parole officer by day, and at night she is a bartender and she works at one of Trace's club. They meet at a basketball game. Sparks fly. No one acts on it. Then they see each other again, and Trace is like, "Ooh, I want to become involved with you." He tries so much not to become involved with her, but you know, one thing leads to another, and then he has to separate himself to protect her because of what is going on in their life. People are out to get him. He has to watch his back. He doesn't know who to trust, and so he needs to separate himself from Jess, only for the enemy to be right under Jess's nose. People that she trusted were out to use her to get to him. Everything is not as it seems. I'm all there for the complex story and complex characters and all the lies and deceit and betrayal. I'm all there for it. The fact that she is supposed to be on the law side, but she does things illegally to protect herself and her mom. Like, ugh. Yes, yes, yes. And my final book is Falls Boys. This I read back in March, and this story has stuck with me. You see this good guy, bad girl, and she just, influences him. And I was all there for this book. I'm so accustomed to reading good girl, bad guy. It was very refreshing to read the opposite. And so we have the hero. He's ready to get into college. And the heroine, she is just on the bad side of the track. She does what she has to do to help her family, protect her sisters. And so she becomes involved in a particular situation. And because of that, she cannot go home. Cops are looking for her. He tries to protect her. Listen, this story was really nice, was really refreshing. It is steamy. It is not spicy. Hold up. It is not spicy, but it's nice and steamy. It is also a young adult, high school romance. Yeah, I'm recommending one of those on my channel. But yes, this is a favorite of mine. So, all in all, they are really good books. They're really great books that you should definitely check out when you have time. Add them to your TBR. Download them on Kindle Unlimited. Most of them are available on Kindle Unlimited, so make sure to do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in 2023. Take care, stay safe, and Happy New Year.